Hello Seekers, welcome back to my channel. Thank you to all my new subscribers and to those of you who have taken the time and energy to listen to this reading today. Today we're going to be looking at how we can find more inner peace, how we can feel more at peace with the topics that are bothering us, and that of course will be different for each of us. Remember that this reading is timeless. You will find it when you are meant to find it. And remember too that it is a general reading. So please take from it what resonates with your own soul, your own inner wisdom, and just let the rest go. If you find yourself drawn to more than one pile, please feel free to watch that as well. And if you don't resonate with anything, please browse the rest of my videos or look at some of the other excellent tarot readers that you can find on YouTube. So, as always, I have the 4 piles: earth, air, fire and water. Earth is the beautiful rhodonite. Air is the natural quartz wand with the little extra wisdom there. The fire pile is yellow aragonite, and the water pile is lemon quartz. The cards that you can choose from: earth pile has drawn the champion, air pile has drawn the warrior, fire pile has drawn the summoner, and water pile has drawn the enchanter. So I'll give you a moment. Earth with rhodonite and the champion, air with natural quartz wand and the warrior, fire with yellow aragonite and the summoner, and water pile with lemon quartz and the enchanter. So take a few moments, meditate on the cards, and choose the pile that you feel most drawn to. Hello Earth pile, and welcome to your reading. You've chosen the beautiful rhodonite wand, and you have chosen the champion. So let's put this over there and let's look at your cards. So your 3 tarot cards. So today's reading is going to be about how can I feel more inner peace? How can I find inner peace? The situation that is causing disharmony in your life, in your soul, will obviously be different for each of you in this earth pile, but hopefully the cards will be able to give you some guidance and some insight into how you can look at that situation with a new perspective. So let's look at your 3 tarot cards. You've got the 6 of Cups. Let me show that to you. You've got the 6 of Cups. You've got the Hierophant. And your final tarot card is the beautiful, abundant Queen of Pentacles. And remember, in tarot readings, although we're dealing with a feminine energy, it doesn't matter if you get a king or a queen energy, or if you're a male or a female watching this, or non-gender person. The cards have no gender. It is just an expression of how a certain type of energy works, if it's a feminine or a masculine energy. Your oracle card of the moon is power, full moon power. Ancestral stuff here, because this connects with the ancestors, and so does the 6 of Cups. It's about the passing down of tradition. And your second oracle card, the shamanic healing oracle card, is the perfect storm, the courage to step into life. Beautiful cards. So, very, very interesting. So the thing that springs out most clearly is there's some ancestral energy here that is perhaps limiting you or creating this disharmony in your life. And to find the inner peace that you're seeking, you're going to need to unpack the traditions, the belief systems, the things that are considered of value in the ancestral lines. And it could be the maternal or the paternal ancestral line, and it could be several generations back. Because remember, when we work on ourselves and we work on our inner psychology, our inner landscape, we are dealing with 7 generations back, and we're doing the work for 7 generations to come. So there's a strong ancestral energy here. This champion card, which is the underlying energy of your reading, is all about an energy that wants victory. It likes to be the one across the finishing line and raising the sword of victory, getting the laurel wreath around the head. But there's a caution that comes with this card, because if you celebrate victory too soon, you can actually then be defeated. So it's important to remember that as we look through this situation, as you examine what you need to do to bring yourself inner peace around this situation, be careful not to be too hasty, to want to achieve the victory too quickly. Sometimes things need to be done step by step, and it's all about keeping things in balance. So we have here both the Moon card and the 6 of Cups, suggesting that there is some struggle, some battle, something that you need to gain victory over, to do with the ancestral lines. So this is impacting on how you live your life, on what you achieve, what you think you can achieve. Perhaps the values of your core family, the family that you were raised in, are different to your authentic values. But because of the family ties, because of the ancestral linkages, it's difficult for you to step out on your own and seek the championship of your own authentic making. And this is the challenge in the situation, to find the balance. The Hierophant is all about traditions. It is about institutions that have been around for generations. So if you think about it, the family institutions have been around. The institution of the family has been around for millennia. The tribal institution has been around for millennia. And here the Hierophant is working from that strength, from the stability of those long-standing traditions, those long-standing belief patterns and systems that have provided the survival of generation after generation after generation. But he is finding a way to find balance between these 2 supplicants who have come to him for advice. Traditionally, the Hierophant is the priest or the wise man that people go to try and find answers. So the one has lilies on his cloak, the other one has red roses. And this suggests that there is some sort of struggle between, red roses are passion, it's love, it's desire, it also represents success and ambitions in the material world, where the white lilies are more to do with the spiritual world. So the challenge in this situation, what you need to do to find your path to peace, is to look for the middle ground between what you know is spiritually and emotionally pure and honest and authentic, and loving and kind and compassionate, and weigh that up against the passions, desires, the material things that the champion wants to achieve, and find the way to peace is to find the middle ground between those two, to neither be too focused and stuck on your material passions and desires or the ancestral lineage, but it is also about not being so detached from the material world that you throw out the baby with the bathwater. The challenge here is to find that middle ground between what's important from the ancestral lineage and what's important to your authentic self, to your authentic being that wants to achieve this championship in whatever it may be. The key theme to consider, an extra energy which applies to this reading, is the Queen of Pentacles. And the Queen of Pentacles is a beautiful, abundant card. It's a card of richness. It's a card of great harvest, of harvesting the things that have been planted and carefully nurtured, because the Pentacles is a slow-moving energy. It is, interestingly enough, because this is the earth pile, the Pentacles is connected to earth. So it's to do with planting a seed, watering it, nurturing it, harvesting it, and then enjoying the abundance. So the suggestion here is that on this path to inner peace, as you find the way between the ancestral belief systems and issues and goals and requirements, and the path that you want, the championship path that you want to walk for yourself, is to find that middle ground and then be patient, nurture, plant the seeds, nurture, and there will come a point when there is just so much abundance that comes from this pragmatic, practical, almost farmer type energy. It's an understanding that there are cycles and that you can't rush. The champion here has a little bit of a tendency, victory line is over there, push, push, push. But the Queen of Pentacles is cautioning against that. She is saying, let things happen naturally. Plant the seeds, keep focused. Use that strong championship energy to stay focused and to stay enthusiastic and to keep on dreaming your dreams. But remember that everything has a cycle. This card, interestingly enough, the Shamanic Healing card, which is the perfect storm, is a 44. And the 44 in numerology is a master number that finds the balance between spiritual and material success. So again, we're back at the indication that for you, Earth Pile, the way to inner peace is to find the balance. And of course, when you are balanced and centered, no matter how much of a storm there is, and perhaps these ancestral bonds, these ancestral requirements and traditions and belief systems, when you start challenging them, when you start moving away from them, even if you do it carefully, even if you do it slowly, sometimes that can create a huge storm. But this card does suggest that you need to walk that path of championships, which will bring you the peace and satisfaction of knowing that you're living your life to your highest good. There is the suggestion that it may create a bit of upheaval, that it will be the kind of storm that changes everybody. But a perfect storm is one that at the end of the day changes everything for the good, for the better. Everybody will come out of it on the other side having grown and having learnt to embrace a huge abundance of different ideas, different belief systems, different types of power, because there may be a suggestion of a power struggle here that as you find your way forward, you need to unhook perhaps the power of affection, the power of love, the power of everything that is comfortable. And often we find that our ancestral lineage, we may rebel against it as teenagers, but as we get older and we have children of our own, we come to realize that those traditional values, those things that are passed, those ideas and concepts that are passed down from generation to generation, have been what have forged us into the beings that we are. So, Earth Power, that is your reading. It comes to you from my heart to yours. I wish you blessings, I wish you love, and I will see you in the next reading. Welcome to your reading, Air Pal. You chose the beautiful natural quartz wand with the little extra piece of wand over there. And you also chose the warrior card. Now this is so interesting because the Earth Pal was the champion and this is the warrior, but there's quite a difference in energy there. Let's just get your cards out and then I'll talk more about that. So there's the warrior card. Let's have a look at your tarot cards. So remember, what we're doing here is we are seeking out a different perspective. We're seeking out information, clarity on how you can feel more inner peace. So obviously the situations that are causing a disharmony within you will be different for each of you, Air Pal, but hopefully the cards will resonate with you and will give you guidance on gaining new perspective and clarity on where you are in your own personal situation. So we'll start with your tarot cards and then we'll open your oracle cards and then we'll put them all together. So your first tarot card is the card of simple pleasures. It's having everything. It's a card of completion. It's having everything that you need. It is the 9 of Cups, and that is a very nice card on the surface, but there are underlying energies which may be contributing to this sense of disharmony, and hopefully understanding them through the other cards will help you find your way to that inner peace that you need. The challenge in the situation is the very interesting 8 of Swords. Very interesting card, this. And the key theme to consider is another Cups card, which is the 4 of Cups. So, interesting. This is intellect and emotions. Well, let's have a look at your oracle cards and then we will go through the cards. The Moon card is the power of creation. The Beaver Moon, the busy, industrious Beaver Moon. And your Shamanic Healing card is the Father Gate. Take a bold step forward. I just feel this is such a beautiful card. It really calls me to step out of those gates and go out through the cave doors into that beautiful shining light. Now that's interesting because this card ties in very much with the warrior energy, because the warrior energy is different to the championship energy. The championship energy wants the accolades, it wants the victory, but the warrior energy is all about the journey. It's about the battle. It's about being the best that they can be. It's almost an energy of perfectionism. It can lead to burnout. This is not about the winning or the losing, although obviously a warrior fights to win. But as long as he fights a good fight, the warrior can rest in peace. And that's an important underlying energy here, because this 9 of Cups is on the surface a very contented card. The man is standing there enjoying all the fruits of his labor. It can also be a card of heavy drinking, of overindulgence. So possibly, I'm almost getting a feeling of, I don't want to use the word addiction because that's the devil card, but there could just be an imbalance that is perhaps creating a little bit too much emphasis on the worldly pleasures, the simple pleasures of eating, drinking, and so forth. The man is sitting quite guarded. He almost has a smirk on his face, and he could almost be a little bit too complacent in the success that he's gathered around him. And he's almost defending that, almost like he's not sharing it with others. But the problem with this card is that sometimes this, for example, this warrior energy, it's an energy of action. And this is almost a card of inaction. And that can be what's contributing to the sense of disharmony in your life, the sense of feeling something is off balance. And there could be, leading on from that, there could be this feeling of almost being trapped in this pleasurable, comfortable world where everything seems to just be abundant. But this card here, the Eight of Swords, suggests almost, well, it suggests two things to me. First of all, there's again, it ties in with the sense almost of complacency and of just, it's not an authentic expression of this warrior energy, of this energy that wants to do things to the best of its ability, that wants the battle, that wants the fight. It's almost as if it's achieved everything it wants to, and now it's trapped within that, almost trapped within the success. And yet that success keeps it outside the castle, outside, dreaming of castles in the air. So this figure here is almost like she's waiting for somebody to come and save her, to get her out of this trap. But all she has to do is take a leap of faith. Yes, she's blindfolded, but her hands are not really tied very tightly, and there is an opening of the swords. She just has to take a step forward. She has to be creative. She has to use her imagination in escaping. There's so many ways that she could escape. She could step forward. She could take the swords and put her hands over them and cut the ties. But it's almost as if she's waiting for somebody else to do this for her. And that's almost, it's not using this warrior energy to its highest potential, air power. And perhaps there's a little bit too much thinking going on, because swords are all about the intellect. It's all about thinking. It's our thinking processes, where the cups are all emotion and creativity. And this is requiring creative thinking. This card is suggesting that the challenge in this situation, to get yourself back into that warrior energy, which is what drew you to this pile in the first place, is to apply, and of course I'm jumping ahead here to the Moon Oracle card. This is the beaver moon. It's all about creativity. You think about a beaver, they can change the course of a river by they build their, I can't remember the term for their little log houses. I think it's called a beaver lodge. I could be wrong. Maybe somebody can correct me in the comments. So the beaver will run in with his sharp little teeth, and he'll bite through the wood, and he'll bring the wood, and he'll build. He'll be innovative. He'll be creative. He uses the wood to shift the course of the river, to almost shape his own destiny. And that's what this card is saying. Together with this warrior energy, it's all about shaping our own destiny. It's not about sitting in our comfort zones and just sort of protecting what we've got. It's about moving out of that stagnant, almost trapped energy and finding creative, innovative ways to move forward. And perhaps the sense of disharmony that you're feeling is because you are not exercising that creative skill, that honing of the warrior energy that pushes forward and bravely faces the battle, pushing himself or herself, because of course women and men, you know, the cards have no gender. This is about an energy, so it's the warrior energy. So it's all about pushing yourself beyond what you've ever thought you've been able to do, pushing yourself beyond the limits that are keeping you trapped in this comfortable, almost boring life. And this key theme card here, the Four of Cups, represents that as well, because these are the cups of the past experience. And this figure is so busy, just he's either, what's the word I'm looking for, dozy from sipping at these cups, and he's just not looking at what's being offered, the new opportunities that are being offered freely, because his eyes are closed in the same way that this woman is blindfolded. His eyes are closed. He's got almost lazy, complacent in what he's got and what he's experienced. And yet there are so many new opportunities and new experiences waiting for him on the horizon, which will fill him with this energy, with this warrior energy of pushing himself or herself beyond the current comfort zone. And what's equally interesting is the shamanic healing card is all about taking a bold step forward. And this is about, interestingly, in numerology, it's a 55 master number, and that is like a master pioneer. And pioneers, of course, forge new paths. And perhaps the disharmony, the discontent, the complacency that you're experiencing on some deep inner level, perhaps that is because you need to move beyond. Again, we've got the gate imagery. I don't know if you can see the two gates there just in front of the opening of the cave, and that of course forms a gate. Also, both of the gates are open. You just need to step forward, step through them onto a new path where you can once again tap into this powerful warrior energy that pushes you to be the best that you can be. And you do need to consider that perhaps for you, unlike the champion who wants the trophy, but for this air pile that has chosen this warrior energy, perhaps a sense of peace comes from the action of achieving, of pushing yourself beyond what you ever thought you could do. There is a caution that comes with this, because too much of a good thing, for example, this is the heavy drinking card, it is the overindulgence card, and you don't only overindulge in the good things of life like food and drink and all those pleasurable things, but you can also overindulge in work, because workaholism is a very real danger for the warrior. So you need to find that new opportunity that allows you to step out of your comfort zone and you'll keep your inner peace. You'll find your inner peace through that sense of adventure, through taking the bold step forwards and going out into the wild unknown. But at the same time, you need to bear in mind that you don't want to overdo the action. It's all about keeping things in balance, because when we go off center, when we go out of balance, that is when disharmony creeps in and starts upsetting the apple cart. And that air pile is your reading. It comes from my heart to yours. I wish you blessings and I wish you so much love. And I look forward to having you join us in the next reading. Welcome to your reading, Fire Pal. You chose the beautiful yellow Aragonite. Let's just move the candle, the fire and the Aragonite over there. And you chose the Summoner. Interesting. So we're looking today at how can you find more inner peace? And obviously for everybody who chose this fire pile, your situation, whatever is creating disharmony in your life, whatever is creating the sense of unease or dis-ease in your life and that you need to find peace about, will be different for each one of you. But hopefully the cards will give you a general idea of a new perspective of how to look at things differently, perhaps give you some clarity and show you the direction in which you can move towards finding this inner peace. So let's have a look at your tarot cards, and then we'll look at your oracle cards, and then we'll put them all together. So your first tarot card is the exquisite and very happy, joyous, celebratory 10 of Cups. And your second tarot card is the challenge. Okay, this is a major arcana card. So this is clearly something that is creating a big challenge for you. And this is the Tower. It is a scary card, but it is nothing to be scared of. And I know that sounds paradoxical, but we'll talk about that when we put all the cards together. And your final tarot card is the wonderful, magical, creative Queen of Wands. So let's have a look at your oracles. The Moon Oracle card is attraction. This is a super moon, very powerful. It's when the moon is closest to the earth, so it looks massive. And it's all about attraction, super attraction, because of course it's a super moon. And your shamanic healing oracle is Feast of Plenty, choices and their consequences. So, fire pile. So the underlying energy is the Summoner card. And in a sense, it almost ties in with both the oracle cards, because this is about, the simplest way to explain this card is what you think you attract. And the Summoner, of course, calls to it what it wants to create. The Summoner is almost a magician energy. It will summon out of nothing something. And perhaps that is the caution for you, fire pile, because the sense I'm getting here, the feeling I'm getting here, is centered on this Tower card, which is the challenge in the situation. It's all about destruction, and it's all about losing everything. It's about the threat of losing everything, almost by the divine hand of God. And coming after this card, which is the height of material achievement, it is a happy family, it is emotional fulfillment, it's this family that is content, and the children are playing beautifully, and the parents are looking at the rainbow. They found their pot of gold, they are living their pot of gold, they are living their dream. And with the Summoner energy and the attraction, the law of attraction card, combined with this challenge, which is almost, I get a feeling, a hidden fear. And perhaps that's what's disturbing your peace. That is perhaps what's bringing in the disharmony into this perfectly harmonious picture. Is perhaps there's something that you've worked hard at, that you finally achieved. It could be a romantic relationship, it could be a job, it could be a family, it could be anything. But there appears to be this underlying fear, I would go so far as to say almost terror, of losing it all. That through some act of God or through some act beyond your control, you are going to lose this beautiful living of the dream, whatever that may be, relationship, family, new job, travel, whatever. And the key thing to remember here is the summoner and the attraction card do offer the advice that we need to make sure that we attract to us that which we want to keep. So you will need to perhaps look inward and find out why you feel this tower is going to strike down everything that you've worked so hard to achieve. Is it something in your past life, like in your childhood? Is it something in your ancestral past? Perhaps your family was very, very poor and they lived life constantly losing. As soon as they made some progress, something would happen and they'd lose it. Is that what's underpinning this fear of losing everything? And you need to understand that with the summoner energy, you can create for yourself, you can continue to create for yourself this wonderful living the dream that you've always wanted to. And the reason for that is the Queen of Wands. She is a highly creative, a mature creative energy. She is wise and calm, and she has the sunflower. She's holding a sunflower which represents constancy. The sunflower is not about loss. The sunflower is about holding things constant. And the Queen in her power, you see how the wand is shooting new leaves? She can recreate all this success. She can summon to her as much success and luck as she wants. Because that black cat, you can see it's brought a new little wand. So if that wand goes, the Queen has another wand that she can use and grow with and create a new dream or continue the same dream. And that also ties in with this card, the Feast of Plenty, which shows about choices and their consequences. Because sometimes when we fear losing that we've worked so hard for, we end up actually blocking that flow of energy, blocking the creative energy that created it. And it is at that point that we then do risk becoming weakened and perhaps losing it all. And this card is saying the Queen of Wands is all about being so confident that she'll have enough. The Queen of Wands has a real abundance consciousness about her. She really knows that she can create a stable, it's a very fiery energy, because Wands is all about creating new opportunities. And the Queen is secure enough to know she's had constant proof. She knows that she has got the magic, she's got the skill, she can create this living the dream as often as she wants. And this Feast of Plenty is almost underlying that. It's underpinning that and saying there is so much available there. It all depends on the choices we make, which will have consequences. So if you choose to live in fear and to hold things tightly towards you, there is the chance that perhaps the very thing that you fear most, you will summon or attract towards you. And so this reading, Firepower, is suggesting to me that to find your inner peace, to feel more inner peace, relax and enjoy the living of your dream. Share your abundance, because you know that you'll be able to create as much as you want. There is this Feast of Plenty there for you. And yes, who knows what the future holds? things could change. But you always have that power within you to create and summon towards you all the plenitude and abundance that the universe has to offer you. You can attract to you anything that you want through the constancy, the constant adherence to your goals, the ability that the Queen of Wands has to create new opportunities out of almost nothing. And so don't ruin or deprive yourself of the pleasure of enjoying what you've achieved so far, of enjoying living this dream of, the pot of gold at the rainbow. You found your pot of gold, enjoy it, and knowing that, maybe one day the pot of gold runs empty, but you can summon with the magic and the power, the mature power of the Queen of Wands to make choices that bring abundance. You can summon towards you any new dream that you want. Any rainbow can come towards you. So try not to disturb your peace, to focus on the possibility of loss. Just enjoy what you have worked so hard to achieve, knowing that you have the power to summon every pot of gold towards you that you require. And that firepower is your reading. I send it from my heart to yours. I wish you blessings. I wish you so much love. And I look forward to seeing you in the next reading. Welcome to your reading, Water Power. You chose the beautiful lemon quartz. I wonder if you can see the color clearly. I wonder if I bring the candle. The beautiful lemony green color. And you chose the enchanter. So let's put your cards out and have a look at your tarot and your oracle cards. So let's look at your tarot cards first. So before we turn the cards over, we're looking at how you can find more inner peace, how you can feel more inner peace. So clearly there's a situation that is creating disharmony, that is creating a sense of disturbance within you. For each of you, water pile, that is watching this water pile, for each of you it will be different. Obviously your circumstances are all different. This is a general reading. But hopefully these cards will give you clarity, it will show you a new perspective, and it will offer you a way to find a new path towards finding that inner peace that you are lacking at the moment. So your first tarot card is the Moon. Your challenge in your situation is Justice. Two major arcana. And your final card, another major arcana, the Star, the beautiful, calm, tranquil star. The epitome of peace. So that is a good sign. Your Moon Oracle is Boundaries. It is the waxing gibbous. Can you see that? Let me move these over so you can have a better view. Let's put that there. Okay, I think you can see that better. And we've got space for your final oracle card, which is the Shamanic Healing, which is the mystical, magical whale. The card is Whale Song, called Resonating. Phew, okay, water power. the first thing that springs out is that whatever it is that is disturbing your peace is really a big deal for you. These are 3 major arcana cards. That means it's big. This is bothering you. There's 2 levels to it. But let's start with your underlying energy, which is the enchanter. And this is the magician. It's the enchanter. It works like a magician. It's the walking into the forest and the magical being is there and you fall under the enchanted spell. And this energy needs to be used very wisely, very maturely, very masterfully. Because if one has an enchanter energy and you're not aware of it, it can be used for the wrong purposes. But if one is aware of how to properly use the enchanter energies, it is a magical gift to have that allows one to essentially manifest anything that one longs for or hopes for or dreams for. And I get the feeling here there's almost 2 levels to this card. The first level, this is the card of duality. This is the card of the deep unconscious. It's deep thoughts, primal thoughts coming out from the unconscious. This is the waterfowl, and of course the lobster or crayfish is crawling out of the dark, deep pond of our deepest emotions. We've got the sun and the moon together. We've got the 2 pillars. We've got the 2 wolves. Well, it's a dog and a wolf. It's the wild side and the domesticated side, both howling at that combined sun, which is masculine, moon, which is feminine. So this whole card is about 2 sides to the story. And it's also about the unconscious. So on the one hand, it could signify that you are going through a lot of dreams, you're having a lot of disturbing thoughts, you're having a lot of dark thoughts creeping out, disturbing your peace, upsetting your peace, making you feel highly anxious and concerned about the sort of dark, shadowy side that is suddenly popping up, bubbling up towards the surface. It could also be that on an unconscious level, there was perhaps some unconscious use of the enchanter energy, which perhaps has brought things out of balance. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's now that something terrible has been done. It could even be an ancestral energy, because of course the moon is all about past lives. And those past lives could be ancestral past lives, or they could be your own past lives. I'm just going to have to take a break because I have a cough coming on. I'm back, waterfowl. My apologies for that short break. But as I was talking about the unconscious and about something having been done that is bubbling up, and almost a misuse of the enchanter energy, my throat just started closing up and I could hardly get the words out. So that cough came to just clear the channels. So why I'm thinking that perhaps the enchanter energy was misused, and this disturbance to your unconscious, this disturbance to your inner peace, because this is the challenge in the situation, and it's about finding justice. It's about finding a balanced view on everything that has happened, and accepting it's almost in a way a karmic, it's a karmic law being played out, in that every action has a consequence, whether it's a past life action, whether it's a childhood action as an adult, enchanting through inexperience or any other reason, using the enchanter energy in an unfair way, that somebody else was perhaps harmed, or you yourself were harmed by somebody else, that you were enchanted by somebody else. This card, the challenge in this card, the challenge to finding peace is finding that point where the blind justice, there's no favoritism of either side. It is about the consequences of each and every individual involved in the situation, whether it's this life or a past life or an ancestral karmic thing that's playing out, that's creating these terribly disturbed dreams and nightmares. The challenge lies in finding either an acceptance, if something unfair has happened to you that has created this real sense of terror and disturbance and almost this, these dark thoughts, perhaps these thoughts of vengeance or revenge or whatever. Perhaps somebody has had an affair, a spouse has had an affair, or somebody at work has taken a promotion or taken your ideas and used them. The way to find peace is to accept that sometimes things play out as they are meant to. We may never find a conscious reason for them, because this moon card is all about the unconscious. There may never be a rational explanation to why something happened, but it's about learning to come to terms that sometimes life can be unfair. It can be unfair to us, it can be unfair to others, and we need to just accept that it's the universe's way of keeping things in balance. And the star card, the key theme to that underlies this, the star card is all about reaching that state of calm, peace, and acceptance, of understanding that sometimes things happen in our favor, sometimes they don't, but it's trusting that the universal law of justice will ultimately keep things in balance. And of course, with the enchanter energy underlying this energy, this figure here is totally vulnerable. She has made herself completely naked in spirit as well as in body to whatever the universe allows to happen. She's pouring out of those jugs in total trust that there will always be a fair allotment of the abundance of the universe. And of course, all the stars here suggest that this place of peace, this serenity and calm that is offered by this figure, which is, by the way, the star, is because the stars are halfway between the divine and the earth. The stars are what are between the earth and the heavens. And finding that point, that midway point of accepting that sometimes things will happen in our favor and sometimes things will happen against our favor, allows us to find that sense of serenity and calm. And also, this oracle card, this waxing gibbous, is all about learning to set boundaries around situations, around people. It's a card of discernment. It suggests that whatever the situation is that is creating the disharmony, whatever the situation that is creating the upset, we need to ring fence it and move on to find the peace, to understand that we don't always understand what and why things happen, but we can still find beauty and joy, and we can still resonate with all the good things that the universe has to offer. I mean, the whales, they are these great mystical creatures that dive deep. When a whale appears in a reading, it is normally bringing a message from the deep unconscious. It's about returning to the depths of our emotions so that we can find our balance again. And of course, another message that the whale brings ties in with the alternative meaning of the enchanter and the moon, because the great mystical strength of these beings often represents a spiritual awakening. And perhaps that, whatever the situation is that has been causing the disturbance, the real purpose of it, the real peace may come from understanding that this pain, this sense of real fear and the sense of almost having a side of yourself that you didn't understand, it's about awakening you to the gift of the enchanter, the deep psychic abilities, the mystical side of you. And once you've tapped into that mystical side of you, you can learn to master the enchanter energy. And once you've mastered it, you can use it to create situations that are fair. You can use your discernment to set up boundaries where people are not, where they're overstepping the mark. And in that way, you will be able to find and live out. You'll make yourself vulnerable through opening yourself to that side. But at the same time, you will find a true peace and serenity in this connection between the material side, the rational, logical side of yourself, and the more emotional, deep, mystical side of yourself. And that, water power, is your reading. I wish you blessings. I wish you so much love. And I look forward to having you join us in the next reading.